The unknown killer. A 5 News investigation reveals the truth behind hundreds of mysterious deaths every year. Called sudden death syndrome, Europe's leading expert tells us it's how Stephen Gately died. He says it kills far more people than previously thought, and a simple test could save countless lives. Hello, welcome to 5 News. I'm Natasha Kaplinsky. It claims the lives of hundreds of young, healthy people every year without any warning. Now, Europe's leading expert on sudden death syndrome has told 5 News he believes it may be behind far more deaths than previously thought. He says Stephen Gately is just one victim who might not have died if only he'd had a simple heart test, and is calling for a national screening programme to help spot those living on borrowed time. Catherine Jones reports.
When Stephen Gately died, many were quick to jump to the wrong conclusions, presuming he'd been drunk or had an accident. But there is an alternative explanation, for there are seemingly healthy young people who have a flaw in their heart that can kill without warning and leave no evidence after death. Instead of a normal heartbeat, the timing of their heartbeat is wrong. They can live their whole life without knowing, or the heart can suddenly and fatally fail. The fault can be identified in a living person, but is undetectable once a heart has stopped beating. 17-year-old Julie Donnelly was on holiday with his family when he suddenly died. 5 years on, his mother Julie still finds it hard to accept what happened.
When the inquest came through and the result was natural causes, and to me there's nothing natural about a 17-year-old boy just dying like that. You know, he was fit, he was healthy. Even now, I still find it unbelievable that he could just, die that quickly.
This is a normal ECG trace.
Professor Sanjay Sharma is Europe's leading expert on the heart conditions now being labelled sudden death syndrome. His research has shown that 1 in 300 have a defect that puts them at risk of sudden death. 500 young people die each year as a result, and possibly more like 1,000 die a year, as sudden heart failure also causes accidents like car crashes or drowning that disguise the real cause of death.
Very unusual to naturally come out of rhythm like this.
Now Professor Sharma has called on the government to set up a nationwide screening programme, offering a simple test called an ECG to all children.
There is scope to certainly perform ECGs at school, and these ECGs will identify many of the electrical faults that are implicated in sudden death, and once these faults have been identified, the risk of sudden death can be minimised.
The NHS's medical director says he has considered this, but there is not enough evidence to warrant a blanket screening programme. But if susceptible young people were identified, they could be protected. This device, once implanted in the body, can restart a heart if it stops. Julie Donnelly thinks if her son had been screened and had an implant, he'd still be alive today.
We've lost a child, but he's lost his future. He's lost everything that, he dreamt of. And I just think, if you could prevent that, then everything should be done to do that.
Without nationwide screening, young people like Adam will continue to die suddenly and inexplicably when they could so easily have long and healthy lives.
So screening one thing, Cathy, is there any way of telling you might actually have this syndrome?
Well, susceptibility is inherited. There's a genetic element to this. So if you have a close relative or in your family history there was someone who died suddenly under the age of 40, then it's definitely worth getting screened. There are some warning signs sometimes, things like blackouts, suffering fainting fits or breathlessness, chest pain, but really sometimes the only time anyone knows anything is when someone actually dies. And really this test that takes about 4 minutes to perform, about 4 minutes for an expert to interpret, is the only way of picking up those 1 in 300 people who may suffer sudden death.
OK, Cathy, thank you very much. And if you want to know more about sudden death syndrome, then just head to our website, 5.tv/news. There you can find links to websites with all the information that you might need.